I think we need to play again the message sent to the residents of the city I'm broadcasting from, Glendale, California.
Face coverings are now required anytime you leave your home. This includes going on a walk, picking up essential goods, or walking your pet. A face covering is not the same thing as a mask. A face covering
better safe than sorry.
That last part was not included in the message. That's our addition. And the residents of Glendale, like almost any other place in the country, are fine with that. That's very upsetting to me that Americans would act like sheep before an idiotic order. You have to have a face covering when you walk your dog. Outdoors in any event, why would you need a face covering outdoors? Unless you are gathered in within 6 feet of people, theoretically, and I don't know why that would happen. I see people wearing face masks in their cars. Maybe they're listening to the radio and think that they can get infected by the radio. Or no, they would infect the radio because it doesn't protect you. It theoretically protects others. Remember how much ambiguity there was, how much ambivalence about the usefulness of regular masks? Yeah. All of a sudden, it's now essential. Yeah. I'll tell you, this is another shattering thing in society. You know how for years I have railed against the veil because it's literally dehumanizing. Humans are defined by their face. And this notion that all of America will be faceless, and I just can't imagine that eventually won't lead to an increase in crime. I mean, if you see people with masks now, or did until a few days ago, you thought it was a bit odd. The obedience to politicians who have no right to give these orders is a very disturbing part of American life today. Who the hell is the mayor of L.A. to tell the people what they can do? I don't understand where they get this right. You can suggest we could take it seriously. I mean, and not just L.A., it doesn't matter where. The hypocrisy of the left on the president's powers, they were very angry at him for not closing down the country. Now they're very angry at him for opening up the country. So which is it? If you have the power to close it down, then you have the power to open it up. Correct? I don't think he has the power to do either, frankly. That's why I'm a conservative and love liberty. Liberty comes with a price, folks. Liberty comes with risks. But we have raised, since World War II, wimps have taken over education. Wimps have taken over religion. Wimps have taken over politics. And they want a life that is as risk-free as possible. And those of us who believe in risks, we don't care about human life. That's because they never answer arguments. But I read to you Betsy McCoy, former lieutenant governor of New York State's piece in the New York Post earlier in the show, showing that more people may die from the shutdown than from the disease. The havoc that is being wreaked on people's lives is frightening to me. If the press were serious, there are so few serious journalists that they have done, the left has done to journalism what it's done to the universities, made them useless, and worse than useless. It's also, the people are not, they're shallow. Most journalists are just shallow. And wouldn't you think that here's a question. Doesn't every one of you listening want an answer to this? How many people who are dying daily now of the disease in the United States are given or are not given hydroxychloroquine at any time of their illness? Is there one person listening, unless see, who would not care about that question? The New York Times wouldn't. Yeah, New York Times wouldn't. They loathe hydroxychloroquine as a possible cure because the president suggested it. Right? Right or wrong? Why? That is 100% accurate, what I just said. I would love to know. I'd like to know this. I don't know the answer to this. Would the editors of the New York Times, if a loved one were struck severely with the disease, or even non-severely, but tested positive, would they tell them to take it or not to take it? My belief is that it's very possible they would tell them not to take it. Their leftist loathing of the president would trump, no pun intended, their desire to see their loved one cured. I do believe that. It's a belief. I don't know for certain, obviously. It's my belief. I speak to doctors who tell me, of course, that they have hydroxychloroquine. In fact, this was a worry that doctors were stocking up on it. Why would doctors do that if it's useless? People are taking it for 30 years and they're fine. People with lupus. Now, if in fact people with lupus can't get it now, that's a problem. I fully acknowledge that is a serious problem. But I don't know why the president would not tout something that has massive numbers of doctors who have advocated for it. You just don't read about them in the New York Times or hear about it on CNN, as somebody very funnily renamed CNN, XINN. That's good, huh? A lot of witty people out there. Here's another question. And that is, excuse me, got to take a drink.
For the land
Okay.
of the free,
That's all right. The drink is not that long. Okay. So I was talking to you about the hydroxychloroquine issue and the question of who would take it, how many would take it. These questions are not asked, as I said, CNN, New York Times. They don't report to you what I read all the time about the number of people who have, in the sciences, who have endorsed hydroxychloroquine. All right. Anyway, the Betsy McCoy's piece about the price is up there. CNN, Los Angeles mayor says large gatherings like concerts and sporting events may not come back until 2021. It's difficult to imagine us getting together in the thousands anytime soon, so I think we should be prepared for that this year, Garcetti said on CNN. Until there's either a vaccine, some sort of pharmaceutical intervention, or herd immunity, the science is the science. What is the science? What does it mean the science is the science?